everybody, this is Wayne with the Garden Center. Today I'd like to take a little time and talk to you a little bit about planting a tree or a shrub in South Texas. Now I want to start off by saying there are lots of philosophies of how to plant and care for trees and shrubs. The practices that we utilize here at the Garden Center are ones that were set forth by Texas A&M University. And we couple that with over 35 years of experience of planting trees for our customers here in the San Antonio area. It's important when planting a tree or large shrub here in San Antonio to only dig the hole as deep as the root ball and slightly wider than the container. We do not recommend over digging a hole and putting a bunch of fluffy soil down in the bottom of the hole. The problem with that is when you backfill a hole, that soil will settle. After you plant your tree, sometimes the root ball can settle with that soil, causing trouble to your trees. So you only want to dig your hole as deep as the root ball, so when you set that in the ground, it is on a firm foundation. It is good to dig wider than the container. Now, when you backfill the hole, after you got the hole to the right size and depth, when you set the tree into the hole, it is perfect and ideal for you to set it in ground level, meaning that the top of the root ball is even with the surrounding grade. Now, it is perfectly fine to set the root ball up a little bit, and especially if you're planting on a little bit of grade, you're gonna have to do that. That's okay too. You just need to be able to mound up soil around the root ball. It's okay to plant up a little bit high. When you backfill the hole, take out the rocks and garbage. When planting trees and shrubs, we do not recommend amending the soil or adding potting soil or soil amendments when planting trees and shrubs. When you backfill the hole, it's a good idea to create a berm around the tree. That will help with watering. Lastly, it's a good thing to apply a nice layer of mulch across everything. Mulch is a very beneficial thing. It helps to retain moisture, helps to keep weeds out, and it helps to moderate soil temperature. But one word of caution on using mulches and soils: you don't want to pile up soil or mulch around the trunk of your tree. You always want that to be free and clear. After watering over a period of time, things will start to collect around the tree trunks. Just keep it pulled away, free and clear, to what's called the root flare. The root flare is where you kind of see the roots of the trees starting to disappear into the soil. Free and clear all the way down to the root flare. After you've installed the tree and planted it and you've backfilled and mulched, watering. When watering a containerized tree for the first year, we recommend hand watering with a handheld hose 2 to 3 times a week. Now, depending on the size of the tree and your water pressure, we recommend turning the water pressure on as high as it will go, so you have a good high volume of water. And that usually takes about 2 to 5 minutes to water a container grown tree. You not only want to water around the root ball, but we recommend watering the surrounding soil, and do that 2 to 3 times a week for the first year. You will have to make seasonal adjustments. You'll have to make time adjustments depending on how quick the soil and your water percolates. And everybody's yard's a little bit different. After you planted, it's a good thing to apply liquid root stimulator twice a month, every 2 weeks, for the first few months. Now, liquid root stimulator is just a liquid you mix with water. It's basically a mild fertilizer, a little higher in phosphorus, which is great for root development. You mix that up in a bucket of water in your sprinkling can. Apply that around the root ball every 2 weeks for the first few months. That makes all the difference in the world in getting a good root system going and established for you. After that point, fertilizing trees and shrubs is really only done twice a year, in spring and fall. In spring, around March, April, and in the fall, September, October. We like to use a good granular fertilizer, distributed basically under the drip line of your plants, not against the trunks of them, more like under where the branches are. That's where you're gonna get better uptake of the fertilizer. Long-term care of the tree, in addition to fertilizing, are pruning techniques. Generally speaking, we do not recommend pruning or doing anything to a newly planted tree or shrub for the first year or 2. The reason being is you want the more leaves, the better. The more leaves, more photosynthesis, better root development. Now, obviously, after a couple of years, when you have trees growing in your yard, some of those lower limbs are going to eventually need to come off. It's always a good idea to either consult a local arborist. We're happy to guide you through proper pruning techniques, and using pruning sealer or pruning paint is always a good idea when pruning your oak trees. One thing that I see customers do often when they purchase trees here at the garden center is they want to take them in the beds of their pickup standing up. They're afraid that if they lean them back, the soil is going to fall out of the bucket. It's going to somehow hurt the tree. You definitely do want to lay your trees down in the beds of pickups or on trailers. You do not want to take them standing up. Standing them up and tying them to a headache rack or back of the pickup, if you get up on the highway, you're really just going to do a lot of damage to the foliage, maybe even break the tree in half. So please, always lean your trees, and it's a good idea if you have tall shrubs to lean them back too. They're just going to travel a lot better for you and get them home safe and sound. Another thing that is very important, people do not even begin to realize that this is a problem. We always recommend doing something to keep the grass away from the base of your trees. Keeping the grass away from the base of your trees does two great things. The trees will grow faster for you, but secondly, and most importantly, if the grass doesn't grow to the trunk, you do not have the possibility of somebody coming along with a weed eater and trimming the grass around the trunk of the tree and cutting into the trunk of the tree. If you do that around with a weed eater, you will kill your tree every time. Weed eaters actually kill more young trees than any insect or disease or environmental problem with trees. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope these tips and tricks will help you out a little bit. Since 1986, we've been blessed to help the urban farmer and people help their landscapes and make their yards and gardens the best they can be in the San Antonio area. And if there's ever anything we can do for you, give us a call, or better yet, come by and see us. We're on Bandera Road, a mile inside 1604, the corner of Peru and Bandera, behind Walgreens. Have a great day.